Dad cheated after 24 years. I'm so broken right now. My mom found emails between my dad and another woman. They're extremely sexual, passionate, and they talk about their amazing nights together. He even complained about my mom to this woman. It makes me so sick. I'm 20 years old and in college, and I'm the eldest daughter of a brown household. My mom stays at home and is fully dependent on him. She left college to support him and her children. She is so broken right now. I can't even think about him without feeling disgusting inside. He's been living a double life and I don't know for how long. He works away from home and comes back every 10 or so days for a week. I knew he wasn't a great person and I knew their marriage has always been bad, but I never thought he'd risk his relationship with his wife and his kids. I've always wanted them to get a divorce, but cheating? I don't know how I can ever forgive him. I'm devastated. He's never talked to us as nicely as he talked to her in those emails. He's disgusting. We found the woman's husband's number and he didn't believe us and hung up. My dad is sorry now, but I can't forgive him. I don't know how to live without him and I don't know how to support my mom fully. Do I ever talk to him again? Will he be there to see the major events in my life? I've always pictured him and my mom together. He sacrificed everything for a random woman from work. I don't know what to do. I'm planning to take my MCAT soon and apply to medical school, but now I have no motivation to study and I just want to be there for my mom instead of leaving. My mom is scared that he will hurt himself because he's lost all of us. I'm scared she'll forgive him. Everything is up in the air right now. What should I do? Please help. Redditor's reactions. Story 2 after. Redditor 1, you need to study and continue on with your life. Support your mother but let her make her own decisions. Op answer, I'm going to try. I was already considering a gap year before medical school, and now this is making me want to take that year and support my mom before I leave. Redditor 2, build a moat with your family around your mom and go scorched earth on your dad. Lawyer up immediately. Depending on how hurt your mom is, you or family members may need to help her make the right decisions. Scorched earth, take everything from your dad. Also, blow up the life of the affair partner too. Op answer, I would do this but in my culture family is so important. I'm not like that because I was born and raised in the US but my mom was not. Her family also was not and are trying to help us fix this. And about the partner, we're trying. We left a voicemail with our number to the husband because he hung up the first time. And we found her ex-Mill's number. Turns out she scammed her ex-husband into a green card. Redditor 3, I come from a cultural family your mom will probably forgive him because she doesn't have any other option. My mom did this a billion times. I wish they divorced and left but reality is she can't. Your mom will have to have a tight leash on your dad. And I want you to take some time to reflect and then return to your studies. Please do not abandon education because of this. When I found out my dad cheated on my mom with all those messages, I failed my midterm because I couldn't study. Prepare yourself for the future because you can't rely on your dad for anything. I'm also the eldest daughter and have to sacrifice a lot for my family. BC my parents could not grow up and act like parents. You are strong and you will get through it. Op answer, thank you. I think you're the only person here who really understands that my mom won't leave him. I may need a break in my school once I graduate from undergrad, but I know I'll reach my goals eventually. Story 2, my dad had an affair. His AP is only 2 years older than me. I thought it might be helpful to get this off my chest. My dad has been married to my stepmom for 28 years. She's always been like a mother to me. 2 days after Christmas, she told my siblings and I am 33F that her and my dad were separating and moving toward a divorce because he'd been having an affair for about 8 months with one of his employees. His employee is only 2 years older than me, which grosses me out. At first, I felt blindsided. I always respected my dad. I thought he was a family man. I thought he was a man of integrity who valued loyalty and honesty. When I talked to him about it, I tried to calmly listen to his side of the story, but all I heard was I'm going through a difficult time right now. No one understands my situation. I was unhappy. I think I'll be happier in the long run. It was a lot of me this and me that. He doesn't seem to realize the bomb he dropped on our family. We're never going to be the same. He destroyed the trust we all had in him. He's a liar who's willing to put his own personal desires ahead of every single family member. If he was so unhappy, he should have made the decision to separate out of respect for my stepmom while he figured his life out. Instead, he found someone who was almost the exact same age as one of his daughters and chose to spend his time with her, while repeatedly lying to my stepmom for 8 months about it. I thought the world of my dad. I know everyone makes mistakes and no one is perfect, but the dad I thought I knew wouldn't have done this. He would have put his family members first. Well, apparently not. I know I'm angry right now, yes, I'm seeing a therapist, but I feel like I lost the dad I thought I knew. It feels like he's been replaced by a self-absorbed, careless liar. I don't care to talk to him right now. Redditor's reaction story 3 after. Redditor 1, so sorry, and one day he will be crying to come back to his family. Op answer, I agree, and he'll realize nothing will ever be the same again. Our family always hosted big holiday dinners. Well, not anymore. I think he's going to realize life on the other side is lonely. He liked to go on hunting trips with the family. No one is going to want to go with him anymore like they used to. My younger sister won't even return his calls or texts right now. Redditor 2, damn, people really are finding long circuitous ways to say, older women are disposable. They could have been having time 3 times a day for all these folks know, but the fallback is always younger is better. Redditor follow-up, thank you. Seriously, this. Every 5th story is an older dude who gets some younger, usually 20s 30s woman and is suddenly hysterically in love or realized he had problems in his marriage and dumps his family hard. And we all know it could be any woman as long as she has a younger. Sorry to be so crude, but it is a crude situation to me. It's like they're facing their mortality and their younger woman's is some magical key slot for a time machine. However, they won't admit that. And the woman thinks it's because she's special, but these stories are formulaic. There are patterns to certain situations that pop up with cheating stories. Like what you see in the Other Woman sub, where they all tell each other that they're saving some dude from his poor marriage and that he will definitely leave the wife for them, they just have to wait. And they keep waiting. Redditor 3, the employee is going to sue him for sexual harassment as soon as the affair ends or he tells her it's over. He's a foolish man. Don't S it where you eat. Story 3, Dad cheated on Mom after 35 years. It's really hard to put these feelings into words. I'm in my 20s, still figuring out my life after just recently graduating college. I didn't expect to deal with this now, while I live thousands of miles away from all of my family. My parents were married for 35 years and now they're getting a divorce. My dad asked for a divorce after my mom discovered he was having an affair. He said he's in love with another woman and it's been going on for months. My mom is 60 and is being abandoned. She's the most important and close person in my life, so I hate my dad for what he did to her. When I try to understand and be objective, it doesn't work because all I can feel is anger and resentment for the man who hurt the person dearest to me. How do I talk to my dad and not lose that relationship when I know I'll never forgive what he did to my mom? And how do I deal with feeling like he's leaving me and the family we had for my entire life? I feel uprooted since all this is happening back home while I'm out here alone and trying to learn how to be an adult. My dad is also being petty about splitting finances. Should he compensate for his wrongs by surrendering more assets to my mother? Or is it fair to split things equally? Both my parents make 6 figures a year, so it's upsetting that he cares so much about one property or some cryptocurrency more than trying to be agreeable in the split. Redditor's reaction story 4 after. Redditor 1, lean into that anger and resentment, process it and give yourself time. He should be fighting for a place in your life. I'm very sorry your mom is going through this. Answer, thank you. I want to give myself time, but the longer I wait, the more it feels like I'm just cutting him off forever. Should I express how I'm hurt and upset to him? He texted me, I'm sorry. Redditor 2, I was in your mother's shoes 4 years ago. The emotions and upheaval in how you view your parents and your family's future has changed dramatically. Your mom will need your support. One of my daughters called me every day during the first few months. Hopefully in the future, your relationship with your dad will become a little less emotional and you can still talk. I do agree with another poster that said not to have anything to do with the affair partner. That would break your mom's heart. Redditor 3, well, he put you in a bad position and your mother in a worse one. Your mother will need your support. Encourage her to get therapy to assist her in processing this betrayal. You might consider telling your dad that any potential future relationship with him will be colored by how he treats your mom in the divorce. Story 4, I just found out my dad cheated on my mom and lost all respect for him. Kids whose parents had an affair, how do you feel? I'm gonna tell my story. I just want some advice or for you guys to tell me your story. So basically, my parents have been married for 27 years, both in their mid-50s. Growing up, their marriage wasn't easy, but they stayed together, and the last few years they were fine. So the other day, my mom and I were eating dinner, and my dad was outside taking the snow off his car. His phone was on the table and it started ringing, so my mom looks. Usually it's family or his boss, so this is normal, but it was a random woman's name, so she picks up and tells the woman, who is this? Why are you calling my husband? The woman hung up. So my mom started looking through his phone, and my dad has been video chatting, texting this woman and sending her money and stuff. I went to my room and didn't feel like hearing this. So my dad comes back in and there was a huge fight. I put my headphones in. Anyway, so the next day my mom calls her sisters and she tells them everything. Turns out the other woman claimed she didn't know my dad was married and they were just friends, blah 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 bullshit. She is engaged and she is 23. I'm disgusted. I'm 20. Why would my dad want to be with someone literally his daughter's age anyway? It's really awkward because we all live in the same house and stuff. I feel weird. I'm the only sibling who knows. My sister was out when this happened and my brother moved out. I don't know what's gonna happen to my family. Surprisingly, my mom is handling this pretty well. I just feel like I lost all respect for my dad. He literally destroyed his marriage and family for a 23-year-old. How do I get over this? And any advice? Update: I went to my first therapy session offered by my university. It helped me a lot on how to process my emotions. Definitely will continue. And thank you everyone for the comments. You guys helped a lot. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, can I just say I appreciate this perspective? It isn't one I've seen much on this sub. It's important to remember that not everyone who has to survive an infidelity is necessarily the person who was cheated on. There's almost always collateral damage when a long relationship goes this way. Answer: yes, I feel like a lot of the times the people in the marriage only view the infidelity through their eyes. Obviously, because it's their spouse cheating and there are personal feelings involved and stuff. But often if there are kids in the mix, they are often forgotten. I feel lost. It's kinda weird because part of me also doesn't understand the parent that was cheating. It's selfish of them not to think of their kids. If they're unhappy, leave. It will do a lot less damage than cheating and ruining your marriage and your family. Definitely affected my views on men. Redditor 2, I would like all the people who say affairs do not affect children to read this. Redditor 3, my mom had multiple affairs during her marriage to my dad. The questions that helped me were these two. Is my mom a good spouse? Answer: no, obviously not, and I would never recommend anyone be romantically involved with her. Is my mom a good mom to me? Answer: honestly, yes, she's always loved and cared for me. Her relationship with me is not her relationship with my dad. So I gave her credit where it was due and judged her accordingly on her shortcomings as a spouse. It took a few years to forgive and learn to love her after I moved out, but I have. My mom is also married to one of her affair partners, so that one is tough to swallow. Answer: Yikes, sorry you had to witness that. I guess forgiveness is the best option in order to heal. I do understand that what happens in my parents' marriage is separate from my relationship with my dad. But my dad hasn't been the best dad growing up. But the past few years he apologized and redeemed himself. Now that he did this, I just have a hard time believing anything he says.